Hey, yo, what's going on, the family? Hopefully we're live now. I don't know what is going on with my OBS, but it just wouldn't. Yeah, man, it just wouldn't let me. It just wouldn't let me, go live. So that was kind of disappointing. But figured out a little solution. We are going to be using StreamYard today. We're going to be using StreamYard, and once I know how to add things, share screen. Allow a window, gray tab, entire screen. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna trust that you guys can. I'm just gonna trust that you guys can see what's going on screen, and that you can see what's going on stream. It's pretty much gonna be it. Obviously, don't have my banners and all my logos, but the important thing is that we trade. So I did mark out the overnight levels. So we reacted off overnight value area high. I don't know about shorts. If we let go of the value area low, we might consider taking shorts from there. And we are on the funded today, so we're looking at 800. Yeah, safe bet would be if we let go of 794 and then maybe the 791. Yeah, I'll go a few ticks below the just go a few ticks below the initial, not the initial balance. I mean, a few ticks below overnight value area high. Yeah, target is 769. Yeah, give me a sec. I'm just gonna check something. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with the OBS today, but not particularly happy about that little situation. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Could have been because I started playing music. I also then checked my storage. I had like more than enough, space on my more than enough space on the hard drive. So that really shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, let's see if we do get a little bounce here. We did reject overnight value area high, which is why I'm not trying to short it directly on top of the value area high, so not immediately over 800, so only $40 worth of risk right now. And then if we can, yeah, I don't know, maybe if we really want to rebalance that, I don't think we're gonna do an entire 800 to 700 rotation, but yeah, I think this is a fair place to target for that short. That's what I'm thinking. At least that's what I'm thinking anyway. Hey, to be mad flies here, dog. Could be imbalanced though. That is something that, that is a possibility. We could be rotating between value area high, value area low, value area high, value area low. We could just maintain this channel. Sorry, I'm just trying to check the health of the stream. Let's take this off now. Okay, so let's just give it a little time. I mean, it is 4 o'clock now, so as I was saying, we could be seeing a very horizontal day, right? No breaks above the A's, no breaks below the A's. Let's see. Maybe again. Other side, as I'm saying, other side of value, it is a pretty big play. It is a pretty big play, but we also did have a pretty big day yesterday. I don't think we would rebalance that dramatically or that deeply. You know what I mean? So there is that little bit to consider. So yeah. Oh, these flies are gonna drive me crazy. I swear to God. One sec. All right, let's see what happens here. Do we get a tap of overnight value area high? As I'm saying, I do feel like this could be a rotational day. So we could just go from value area high to, value area high, value area low, value area high, value area low. You know, um, yeah. Which is why I'm really too excited about putting my entry right on value area, right? I mean, on the overnight value area high. But if we do fall, I would like to see it like fall through, you know, I would like to see it fall through that overnight value area high, and then maybe, you know, of course, the more conservative approach would be to take the short from, 794, but I do think if we can fall through, break the 794 level, and then maybe we also then look at, adding another short roundabout, yeah, maybe around the overnight point of control, yeah. And as I'm saying, you see, we're pretty D-shaped over here. So it could be rotational. So just value area low, value area high, value area low, value area high, until one of these break, And even, I mean, if you also just want like a clue as to like what could potentially happen, I mean, again, just look at the view app, right? Pretty horizontal, so, people are going to be comfortable with buying and selling this level. So we're looking at what, A10 being a median. It's around about A10. But let's just split this profile so we have a full look of it added. And I mean, like the CVD is also like pretty negative, right? Well, not pretty negative, but I mean, we have, we have been printing lower, but whether that becomes a thing where where we see sellers take control of the market today, we just have to wait and see, right? But so far it's just it's just yeah. So yeah, we just have to just give it some time. I know that people who are like pretty good at taking these types of trades, value area high, value area low, and it is a good 10 points. It's not a bad trade. That's not a bad trade. Not that good at that type of thing because this does need size, so looking at it, looking at like what, at a 10 point thing, that's about $100 with like two contracts. So I guess You know, um, I guess it could have been that one of those things where you was up 345 from here. Sell that, come down here, buy this. That would have been a pretty wide stop, though. Yeah, but one of these sides is gonna have to break. One of these is gonna have to break. Not have to, but one of them will break. You know, after this little balancing, in which the little balancing could be a very long day. But yeah, 1607. Yeah, I mean a break lower on paper. Okay, hear me out. A break lower makes sense in the sense of, we've had an expansion, right? But people, what do they call it? I've forgotten the three letters. Something manipulation expansion. I've forgotten what this is a TikTok trader thing. But essentially what I'm saying is it does make sense for us to find a little rebalancing, right? Because we've had that impulse, right? So we've had that impulse move up. This is a huge imbalance from the 31st right up till today, right? The market, this is price discovery. And what the market wants to do most of the time is it wants to be in this type of state, in this type of phase, right? Where there's buying at the bottom, selling at the top, selling at the top, buying at the bottom, 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 and then we get this massive expansive move up, right? So this is the imbalance, right? So really you're looking at imbalance from like the 29th. So after one from the 31st, because that's really when it started, right? If you're looking at over the last 3 days, if you're looking at expansion over the last 3 days, and the market's going to want to try and find some form of balance, right? So if people aren't going to be willing to buy from here anymore, it has to move to a price level where people are going to be okay with buying. So that's what right now, that's the move that we're looking at and anticipating, right? Like, okay, in the move that the market's going to make to find buyers, right? Because when price moves low, essentially that's what we're doing. We're trying to find buyers. And so where can we potentially find buyers, right? Logically, it would be at the previous day point of control, right? 774. That's the logical place to get out. Just looking at a situation where if we do break inside previous day value, then we potentially could have a Dalton day play out. And even though it looks like a massive number of points, we're looking at like 100 and something points, right? Even though it looks like a massive number of points, we did that yesterday and then some, right? Yesterday we started in the 650s, closed in the 780s. Yeah, 655. High of day was 786. So about 131 points. So I'm not saying because it happened yesterday, it's going to happen today. I'm just saying that it can happen. Like, it can happen is basically what I'm saying. Thank you. Okay, but I mean, if my camera's not working, then what's the point? Okay, but I mean, if my camera's not working. We are compressing around the VWAP, right? So clearly finding some form of resistance at the top here. Right? So 820s couldn't break past that. 819s couldn't break past that. 817s couldn't break past that. 815s couldn't break past that. So clearly, resistance moving lower. And again, it's not so much so about like there being a particular level that I'm saying this is where resistance is, right? But just based off value area high, like that's value area high. We're gonna sell value area high unless the market wants to go higher, unless there are people willing to buy at in the 78 30s, 78 40s, yeah. But failure of which we're just gonna come back here, find some buyers, and then go back, get back to value area high, sell again, until we find buyers, basically. Gotta be a way. There's gotta be a better way for me to do this. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, sorry boys, I'm quite literally flying the plane as I'm building it. But yeah, we might have to StreamYard from now on because I don't like how we lost the. I don't like how we lost OBS, and because I did try and log in a couple of times, like several times, but just didn't work out. Okay, one more thing. Okay, no more tinkering, I swear. No, you wanted to stream. Yeah, I'm streaming. It's just I couldn't see how to use Zoom software, so I just wanted to see what it looked like. So switch off. I couldn't have but I kind of subscribe. I can't subscribe. Emang ngelanda orang kau yang apa sih yang tidak wedding support. Bukan ada nak saya nama zinyan. Jalan semua. All right. But yeah, I mean, it's as I was saying, right? You get me? It's just as I was saying. So make this the same size. Cool. Also, just so that you guys can see the top of the time and sales right there. But yeah, but it's as I was saying, pretty compressed, right? Value area high, value area low, value area high, value area low. So just have to be patient. Or if if you're good at it, value area high to point of control, which is shifted higher. And a bit of a gap as well to fill. I didn't actually notice that. A little bit of a gap. We can see it from, okay, this was all close. Yeah. This was all close from yesterday. And the open over here. So didn't really didn't really do much as far as closing value, you know. So that's our value area high right here, 786. So that, you know, also could be where we kind of breach. But yeah, 1625. If we don't 1625, if we don't break through this, honestly, I guess in the next 5 minutes, we are gonna have to close this trade out and prepare for an initial balance trade, which you guys know is like my absolute fave. It's not, but it'll be 3 days in a row where we trade initial balance. But yeah, it just might. I don't think there's any news either. Yeah, I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any news events today. So uh, positions where places where we could potentially think of like adding, as I said, maybe after the 7094, this 94, but uh more so 100%. I think I'd be more comfortable adding at 790. 790 would be a bit of a short trade if we enter now, because I don't want to hold into initial balance, because we could set initial balance and then retrace and go to the other side. So if it is going to happen, it's going to have to be very quick. Yeah, watch out, Delta. Delta is also shifting to the downside. 805s, 101 at 805. So I guess we should also start watching the time in sales. Stop at 819. In all honesty, it is wide. But okay, here we go. Overnight value area high. This would have to hold if we are going to get a continuation lower. Or otherwise, it's just going to be a tap and then it's going to go back up. 1623. Yeah, we had buyers stepping at 804. Retest of value area low. Does that hold? Do you hold below VWAP? Making this $100 trade now. A21. Make it A21. Mm, 1625. Let's mark out our initial balance now, I guess. It's gonna be our IB high, our initial balance high. And this is our initial balance low. And I don't like that we entered so soon. Not soon, but I mean so close to initial balance. You know. Well, hey, que sera, sera. Two more minutes till initial balance. 1.5 minutes till initial balance. Value area low right now. Hmm. Just a few more seconds till initial balance. Of course, if we don't accept inside overnight value, you know, if you don't accept inside overnight value, then the logical thing, of course, would be for price to get to initial balance high, right? So, and also another thing I'm just learning with time is that just because one IB is close, it doesn't mean that it's always going to get hit. And also, just because an initial balance gets hit doesn't mean that it goes continuously towards the other side, right? So, excuse me, there is that 774 would be the logical place to get out. You get me? So I think let's do that. All the way down to previous day value area low would be a dream, but let's just do 760 for now. Okay, so retest of overnight value area high. Look, maybe we can add another. We can add one more. 793. So look, just adding one below initial balance low, slightly below, and then another just below the overnight point of control. And yeah, 779 and 774 will be places where we then start covering, right? So overnight value area, previous day value area high, if we can get that cover there, so we'll cover from IB, cover from previous day value area high, and the overnight value area low. If we don't completely rotate here. Pretty much looking for the opposite of what we saw yesterday. Remember, yesterday we were looking for strength in the buyers. Today we're looking for weakness in the buyers and strength in the sellers. So okay, so 797, 105 orders at 797. But then what happens to the market? We then print it up, 799, 799.50. So just need to start seeing more 79, more 97s on the time and sales, right? So there we go, 96.50. It's all good. 97s, 96.75. All right, and then how we approach this level, how we approach the initial balance again. So 94.75s, right? 94.75s. How do we print around 94.75s?
Stop filled.
Okay. So look, our stop's gonna have to go, both of these are gonna have to go at 810. All right, and then here we go. This is our overnight point of control. And then do we flush through our overnight point of control now is the next test, right? And then from overnight point of control, honestly, I think we can cover from 804. If we can get through that, that would be the place where it's like, okay, if we then start coming back towards, if we come back towards value, then we're not really trying to break past initial balance, right? So that's the logic behind the trade. And also the reason why I'm putting a sell stop behind it is because I also understand that we could just get a touch of the overnight point of control, right? Could just get a tap of overnight point of control and then get back, because this is the fair value from, well, never mind then. So yeah, look, this is where we're gonna have to cover, unfortunately. It's a lot. It's 10, right? So yeah, point of control. This is a $240 trade now. So, but yeah, let's let it do its thing. Just let the man do his thing. Overnight point of control, Ali. And then here, previous day value area high. You know, I mean, this is some form. This is resistance, right? Let's not kid ourselves off. The momentum though is with the sellers, right? As as you could see from the candlesticks, etc. As you could see from the time in sales, even when you're looking at the prints over here, we finally printed below the open, right, and below the lowest A point. So should have a little momentum to take this further to the downside, right? But still at the same time, we do have previous day value area highs. So if there's intention to keep the market up, logically where we are going to encounter some, like maybe the biggest form of resistance is going to be the previous day value area high. So we do need to monitor that. We will need to monitor this area 786 and how we print around the 786s, right? So 89.50s, pretty strong flush. 89s again, 67. We don't have any accumulated orders just as of yet. Not in the 89s. Just not. But buyers coming in at 90.50. 67 orders. Time in sales at 92. Our value area low did shift lower too, right? Did shift to 803. I remember we were at 804, which is where our stop was. I think even if we did put our stop at 807, that would be above our TPOC. But yeah, let's see if this was a reload or if sellers have completely lost momentum. $92.50. Yeah, I mean, buyers are trying to get this back up, as I did say, around about the previous day value area high, that is where we would see some form of resistance, right? We haven't really got to that level, right? Haven't really covered it just as of yet, but you can't imagine if there's going to be a sustained rally up, right? It's going to be we're gonna have to see it here, around about the previous day value area high. Failure of which we break through and we come and test our overnight value area low. Then that's a full rotation of the overnight value, right? And yeah, man, we should let's put our target right at the previous day point of control. If it does have a continued move, then whoop-de-doo, I guess. Mm. Let's just watch the time in sales over here. You know, we need to, like, we see prints like this, right? Like, and we see, red prints of this nature, more of them here. Essentially, it's just sellers hitting the bid, right? But not really pushing it. And then now you're seeing like greens like that. It's buyers hitting the ask and not really pushing it. So that's not bad. 92.50 at 92.25. I mean, sevens. Yeah, big buyer intent here. We should cover. We are in a good spot. I think our risk, even though it's a lot, where our stop is at a logical level. If we stop moving our stopping lower, it's gonna be just off a psychological thing. I'm not wanting to lose the trade, but right at the point of control is, I think that's a logical place to put our stop. We could put our stop at value area low, but then also we could just get a tap of value area low and we could come back down, and if we put our stop at VWAP again, we could get a tap of VWAP and come back down. So right at fair value, I think, is where we, where we give up on the trade idea. Just have to hold. Just have to hold and just be a little patient. And again, a couple of reasons why it would be dead. I mean, above 804s, we're now printing above the top C, right? So that little trend would have pretty much, in essence, died, right? So as long as we stay below the TPO, as long as we stay below the TPOC, the time point of control, should be fine. As long as we stay below the C, we should be fine. As long as we're below the VWAP, we should be fine. So where our stop is okay. Our average entry now it's not on the initial balance, it's just outside of initial balance, right? We did scale in, remember we did start off our trade from the overnight value area high. Yeah. So perhaps you could argue that if we do let go of overnight value area high, right? If we break past that, then we don't want to be in the overnight value anymore, so that could be a valid reason to exit, if you're looking for reasons to to hop out. Let's wait and see. Okay, so still maintaining inside overnight value, at least for now. It's based off the fact that we sold overnight value area high. So, and our value area low is also shifting low, and it's not 801. Hmm. Starting to look like a double distribution on the volume profile. Some peak over there, smaller peak over here. Like a capital B, right? So, of course, our point of control here, and then there's another point of control here, 795. Sorry, just based off where the most amount of volume has been transacted, right? So around about this area here, 795s, which is around about our initial balance low. So, you know, okay, we do need to break through this. If we can't break through this, then very easily we could do the point of control again. You could do the 810s, but yeah, 790s, massive intent. 93, 73 at 93, 51 at 90, 25, 77 at 90, right? And we're printing in the 90s again. So, and just below the overnight point of control. So we should let this go now. I think this is ready to give now. 8950s. Looking at 86s. All right, here we go. 8650. See what I was telling you guys about? We could encounter a little bit of resistance there. It's not just a little bit, it's quite a lot. But falling through this would, yeah, if you break through this, then you could anticipate us melting, so. Stay ready. Here's another attempt of it. 8625s. Super accumulation. I mean, look at that 329. Nothing really gave there. Okay, that's your 86s, 85s. Okay, we are printing. Whoa. Should look at that. Fell right through it. Yeah. As they say in the streets, don't be dumb. Can we do that point of control or not? Hmm. I don't know. I mean, the point of control is right there, but at the same time, this is the overnight value area low, so I am thinking of covering at least. Let's cover at least till. See now, I think I might have been a little too slow towards that move. Nah, but we've covered enough. I mean, we are at 800, right? We did move it another 10 points, so let's let this play out. So 774 is what we're looking at. 80. We are getting some buy orders here, right? 8150s. Let's just watch the time in sales. If we start printing 83s, 84s, then I think we should just bow out. I know the point of control is right there. It's like what, 6 or 8 points away from it, but valid place to get a rotation here. Yeah, I might have froze for a little too long. I ain't gonna lie. Let him cook. All right, here we go again. As I'm saying, again, I do think we could get a rotation at 79 again, which, we kind of did, right? We are seeing that there's a little bit of strength around the overnight value area low. So I'm just trying to think how I cover that, because then again, I would like to get that point of control. But I think we could cover it with the D prints, unless the D prints start printing back up. It's crazy things have happened. Yeah, I mean, it's like untested yet, so maybe we get that. I think we'll get that. Let's just give it a little time. Hey, it's o'clock, dog. Overnight point of control. Yeah, big buys there at 90, yeah. 60 at 90. 90.50, 90.50, 90.25, 90.50. Okay, 89s. 88s. 87s. Big sell order at 89.25. 88s. 88s, 87s, 88s. Again, we just need to break through the 86s. If we start seeing, okay, here we go, 85s. $85, $75, $83s maybe. Quite away from the $80s. And it looks like we're letting go of that previous day value area high. $89.25. Yeah, Delta's also kind of pushing up. $50 at 90.75. Also trying to push above that overnight point of control. So it's pretty much what we have here is just a battle for this area, previous day value area high and overnight point of control. And we do have some buyers trying to buy this back up. Of course, we've had buyers everywhere, but I'm just saying, as far as like the aggressiveness of buyers, we saw them step in at overnight value area low. So there is some form of intent to keep it at least above 779s. Let's call it 7780s, which is the current battleground right now. But yesterday's fair value is right here, which is why I would like to see us hold towards that level and not give in just yet. I was thinking of where to cover, and in all honesty, I guess maybe covering at initial balance. But not trying to defend our stop, but I think where our stop is does make sense, right? It does make sense. And I also don't want us to get stopped out. I don't want us to get wicked out, so yeah, the 86s again. Still, our 86s are printing. We're not really getting any momentum, within 86.50, 75s, 25s, 86s again, 85s. So below 86, we're below previous day value. We're inside previous day value. But you would understand the panic in ensuring that we stay above it, right? Because what's to say once we get here, we can't flush all the way down to previous day point of to the previous day value area low. Not interested in holding to like the lower 700s. As much as that would be a massive trade, but really, in all honesty, I think if we can get to the previous day point of control, great. You know. Yeah, we're accumulating some orders also at 88s. So the dogs are going crazy. 86 is Snoopy Bamakaya. Okay, look, we finally let go of the previous day value area high. Well, yeah, I'm tempted to just get out here at 78s, but come on, you sellers. $65 at 86.75. The market went against us though. $87s, 87.50s. Yeah, and look at that. Strong push from the buyers, but like, you know, sellers keep on kind of pushing it down, you know, so there's some seller aggression. Okay, here we go again. 85s. Yeah, but again, you see what I was saying about the 85s? We need to print, you know, solid red blocks below 86. You know, so 84s, that's not bad. 84.50s. Yeah, it's a big battle for that previous day value area high. $580 at 790. 536 at 70 at 88.25. So yeah, so I mean this is big money stepping in now. Either one of these two is getting out. Either these buyers, these sellers are getting out, or these buyers are getting out. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, 86.75s, 86s. Previous day value area high again. Hmm. These buyers should just step out the way, man. 85.75s again, 84s, 85s. Let's go. '84s. Yeah, we are kind of hitting a wall around about that 84, yeah? Let's look at the prints that are coming in. 82.75, 83s, 82.50s ticking down. '82s, 82.50, 75s. '83s. Okay, let's see. Maybe we get a retest of this previous day value area high and and come back lower, because clearly we've done several tests of the overnight point of control. So that's pretty strong. Yeah. And we were having some buying around about the previous day value. Well, at the previous day value area high. We kept on buying this level. So haven't really seen any form of resistance on the previous day value area high. I would much prefer it to we just like fell through once, of course. But Just saying. The retest of this wouldn't be all that bad. Yeah, it's also the TPO's value area low. Okay, here we go. $80.75. 25, 80, 58 at 80, 79, 75. $78. 77s. 76.50s. 75. 75.50, 75.50s. Oh, boss, you're right there. Calma. Count two more takes. Swish.
Order filled.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think we good, man. We don't have to. If we do get a full Dalton, that would be amazing. Because I did say, I was kind of saying that I don't think we're gonna do another 100-point day in the opposite direction. Clearly was wrong. But yeah, still not interested in it, man. I think holding from 420. Yeah, not really that long of a trade. I mean, like less than an hour. 423, 1023. Yeah. Of course, would be pretty amazing if we do the entire Dalton, right? And maybe we could have put our stops, our TP somewhere here, and then moved our stop to the previous day point of control, and then just like let it run. But the amount of effort required, not that it outweighs the reward, but it would need a lot of it would require a lot of attention. So, and it would also need a lot of energy. So yeah, another $300 there. Not too bad. We did this yesterday with 2 contracts. Today we did it with 3 different types of trades, but similar outcome. So just gonna go through the. Hold on. Oh, okay. Yeah. So just gonna do the journaling after, and we are we are making, I think, fair progress on. We are making fair progress on the funded. That's not how you spell Wednesday. When? But yeah, but as I say, I think we're making all right progress with the funded. Still in mad drawdown, as you can clearly see. Still have about 713 to cover, which isn't as bad as where we were, right? Which isn't as bad as where we were last week. So, yeah, you know, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, I mean, either way, even if I put my TP all the way down here, we would have got stopped out, and you know, so. But this was a little hairy. So just a few more few more good trades. Nothing too hectic. We've done 4 benchmark days now, also on the funded, so we should be we should be eligible for payout get over once we get out of the drawdown. You get me? So once we get out of drawdown, then we should be able to request payout. You know, we will have to build the buff. We will have to build a bit of a buffer as well, but it's all good. It's all part of the game. But yeah, that's gonna be it from me. Yeah, that's gonna be it from me. I'll catch you. I guess I'll catch you on the next one. We'll figure out how to. Yeah, we'll figure out how to get this working properly. By this, I mean, you know, how to set up the whole StreamYard thing so that it looks like what we had on, you know, it looks like what we had on OBS, but I think I might actually prefer this better. Ramblings. All right, but it's all good. Shout out. Catch you on the next one tomorrow, same time, 9:15 EST, 3:15 CAT.